Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to our Fatherland group and our events where we have conversations pertaining to Nigeria. I must confess that today's conversation, I'm super excited about it. Why? I'm excited because it is the one subject that will always bring Nigerians together, whether when it's sports, we're all there. When it's our conversations regarding our politics, you cannot keep us down. So I'm looking forward to hearing the respective views on events past that, that we're here to discuss today. So, and of course, the now, which is the future. So our theme today is Yoruba and Igbo conference, speaking with one voice, and in particular, the brotherly rivalry, which is what we're looking forward to. Are we really rivals, or is it just in the family? He was a former Green Eagles, now Super Eagles, and IICC shooting star captain. The mathematical seven, as he is known, was born in Lagos and brought up in the northern city of Jos, Plateau State. In his footballing career, he won 46 caps and scored 23 goals for the Nigerian national team, which he guided to its first Africa Cup of Nations, titled at the 1980s tournament. He earned his mathematical nickname for his speed and skill on the football. I mean, that's something I didn't know till now. With the precision of his crosses from the right wing. The nickname is rooted in the fact that he attended and graduated from Nigeria's premier technical institution, the Polytechnic of Ibadan, where he studied engineering. He played for IICC Shooting Stars of the Ibadan for 10 years, from 1974 to 1984. His last game was the 1984 African Champions Cup final to defeat Zamalek of Egypt. A former candidate for the FIFA presidency and for the office of the governor of Ogun State, Odegbami is a columnist, commentator, and published author. He is the proprietor of the Segun Odegbami International Sports Academy in Abeokuta, Ogun State, which is Nigeria's only co-educational and multi-sport secondary school. He is also the anchorman of NTA 2's The Sports Parliament. His latest project is Eagle 7, an FM sports radio and online TV program, which is to be launched on the 27th of February, 2020. I wonder if we get an invite. He holds the National Awards for Member of the Order of the Niger, MON. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me and we welcome our very own legend, that is Chief Segun Odegbami. Sir, you are most welcome. Please take it away. Thank you for your time with us this evening.
Thank you. I'm very humbled by this experience. Thank you very much. What do I say? First, I was attracted to the subject matter because I had read Dele Ogun in his books, and I know where he was coming from when he offered me the opportunity to be a part of this conference. And probably also he may have read me somewhere write about my personal experiences about the Civil War, about the pogrom that happened before the Civil War, and of course, when football came in. And I went east. For the first time in a long while in my life, I went west to Yoruba land because I spent the first 17 years of my life in the north. I went to Catholic schools that were mostly populated by Igbos. They were my friends, most of them were my friends. And when the pogrom happened in 1966, suddenly, overnight, I saw a dead body for the first time on the streets of Jos. I was walking to school as a 13-year-old, and I saw Igbos being driven around the place and killed, and all of that. Houses were being burnt. And I just walked towards the school, and I didn't understand what was going on. And the second or third day when we got back to school, we found out that the 250 student population had reduced to less than 40. And 4 years or 5 years after that, when I did my school certificate, we were only 17 in the class, because most of the, in fact, all of those that were my classmates and others in the school had all either been killed or had gone back eastwards. So as a young boy, I had firsthand experience of the pogrom that now became the Civil War in 1967. And through the Civil War years, of course, when I was growing up, I didn't understand enough to be able to do anything about anything until I got to the West. And this time it was shortly after the Civil War, 1 year after the Civil War. And, you know, there was Rangers International, a football team. I was a football player. And they had just come out of the Civil War. And that team came out very forcefully and started to dominate the Nigerian football scene. What struck me immediately was that here we are a people that were supposedly conquered, who just a few months after a war came up with a football team, and knowing how passionate Nigerians followed their football and, you know, the interest that football generated, suddenly you had a team from the East that got to that year's FA Cup final, which was the biggest football championship in Nigeria. You know, except you were deaf, dumb, and blind, you wouldn't know the interpretation of what just happened there. So I got hint of it, but as a football player, it took probably another 2 or 3 years for me to now fully appreciate what happened at the time. Because being in the West now and joining with Shooting Stars Football Club and being with them and seeing how what was going on and sort of rivalry, you people will call it rivalry between two clubs, but it wasn't rivalry between two clubs, because I saw that Shooting Stars was a response, was a regional response, was a tribal response to the emergence of an Igbo team, which was not a football club, but was a movement of the Igbo people. Rangers International were not a football club. When they came up, yes, what they did on the field was play football, but for those who could discern, it was much more than that. They were making a massive statement. And that was why everywhere you turned at the time, it was not about who was from Owerri or who was from Onitsha or who was from, it was a total Igbo thing. And you don't want to know what we found out that they did, but that's to find out. What we did to counter, because I was there in the West, what the Yorubas now did to counter, I was a part and parcel of it. And I can tell you that most of it, we cannot even discuss publicly like this. But the response of the Yoruba was to establish a club that will counter the movement of the Igbos. And so Shooting Stars became a movement of the Yorubas. They had followers, patrons, and supporters all over Africa. If you went to Tanzania, they were there. If you went to, you know, all those places, you will find that they were building up structures, tribal structures in all of those places. And when we had to go from Ibadan to Enugu to go and play, we had to stop at every river to do certain things, you know, and well, don't let me go into all of those details. All I will just sum up is that, yes, there was Rangers International, there was IICC Shooting Stars, but those two were movements of Igbo people, and they represented more than just the football that everybody saw them play. Although on the field of play, the competition was very fierce. It was, you know, we were playing as if our lives depended on it. These were the products of the indoctrination we have heard before getting on the field of play, and the causes we were fighting as we were playing, and so on and so forth. But thanks be to God, we had the national team that now brought us together beyond the rivalry on the field, beyond the indoctrinations socially and outside of the field. We now came together under one umbrella of a national team. And I particularly was fascinated. First, it was an inquiry to find out how the Igbos, who were my rivals in the field, would behave when we got to camp, because we would tell each other's story. I also was watching out for myself, how I would react to Christian Chukwu and Emmanuel Okala and so on and so forth. And my discovery was awesome, because Okala and I became roommates. We became roommates. We shared one room and we spent most of the time together. And there I would sit and watch him and expect certain things to happen. He was Igbo. He represented the Igbo man. The Igbo man was supposed to be a conquered man. And here he was fighting to get back to mainstream of life in Nigeria and being denied the opportunity, because I was conscious of that. But we were in the national team. We were representing one Nigeria. We were carrying this no victor, no vanquished. For one Nigeria must be it. You know, a united Nigeria has to be it. That was what we were carrying. And we carried it together. That was the fascination. In camp, there was absolutely nothing about Igbo or Yoruba. We were there, we played as one. We were taught that we were representing our country. People came, Igbo, Yoruba, the chairman of the NFA was Hausa. His vice was from half Ghana. The other vice was a Yoruba. Just like that. And everybody was telling us about the unity of Nigeria, what we were representing for, as a national football team. And so it just went on and on. We became the best of friends. Incidentally, up till now, I don't know how many years now, 50-something or 40-something, years after, we are still the best of friends. When Rangers were celebrating 40 years of their victory for the Africa Cup Winners' Cup in Houston, Texas, they invited me to come and do what you people are asking me to do here, tell you about that relationship. And it was truly fascinating to go there and tell them the story, and for them to see how, as individuals, we had no problem. As individuals, up till now, we don't see the enmity that politicians and social scientists talk about. Some of my best friends are Igbos. We meet in the Ikoyi Club, we play tennis, we go out, we eat, we discuss Nigeria. But when it comes to the group thing, then there you start to see, group interests, tribal interests, clannish interests, all of those interests. But as individuals, it was not so. That's why, this is my last story. That's why in 1977, after we had been in the national team together for a long time, and we had started to win, that was the best period for me in the history of Nigerian football, where we had genuine development of the game of football in the country, because we had warriors from the East. These were people who were playing as if their lives depended on the game, which is a fallout of their coming out of the war. That's how they came out of the war. They were so determined. They were driven. They were driven. We were countering them. We were also driven. And we had this combination now to represent Nigeria. There had never been a better platform for us to demonstrate the power of coming together. We realized that if we did not come together, we would perish. We would not succeed. And if you looked at the history of Nigeria through those years, you will find that those years were the years of the national team when we did so well. But just to convince myself again that things, were really not about the individuals, but about the groups. Suddenly, Rangers had to play Shooting Stars in 1977 in the semifinals of the Africa Cup. We were together in camp. We were friends in camp. Do you know that the federal government of Nigeria, sensing the tension that the second leg of that match brought up, there was going to be war in Lagos between the Igbos and the Yorubas in Lagos. They sensed it. Within 24 hours, they took all of us out of Lagos to a neutral ground in Kaduna to go and play that match, because the group interest, the tribal interests, you know, the clan interest, all of those things had now come back into reckoning beyond the individuals. I don't know what lessons we can take away from that, but I tell you, as individual Nigerians, we don't have a problem. We all do things, we help each other, we do all manner of things, we are friends and so on. But once the interest group comes in, once you now start talking of the Igbo and the Yogo as groups, the Hausa as group, the Thieves as group, you see the divisions now come into the picture. I can see my brother and friend, Emmanuel Okala, he has managed to join us. I'm so glad to see. Look, we are the best. You people have no idea. We are the best of friends. The best of friends. I told them.
Indeed.
Tell them we are roommates.
Indeed. It's such a pleasure to have you both here. But please permit me the honor to do justice to the introduction. You know, let's welcome our chief properly, and then we can continue with the conversation. And of course, our second legend today, he's also a former Green Eagles, now Super Eagles, and Enugu Rangers captain. Emmanuel Okala was born in Onitsha in Anambra State, the only Nigerian goalkeeper to be decorated as African Footballer of the Year by the African Sports Journalists Union, ASJU, in 1978, after winning the 1980 African Cup of Nations tournament while representing Nigeria. Okala was the tallest and most dreaded goalkeeper in Africa during his time. He manned the goalpost for the nation team of Nigeria, the Green Eagles from 1972 to 1980, and also for the club that became the greatest post-Civil War movement of the Igbos, the Rangers International Football Club of Enugu. He was the first chairman in Nigeria's football before his own captain, Christian Chukwu, earned and inherited the sobriquet. Okala was the most recognizable figure in the whole of African football throughout the 1970s because of his awesome fate in the football field and his towering, imposing 1.9 meters to you and I, 6'5" physique. That's what we mostly see in basketball. He was nicknamed Man Mountain by the late legendary radio sportscaster Ernest Okonkwo. He holds the National Award of Member of the Order of the Niger, MON. Chief Emmanuel Okala, it is a privilege to have you join us this afternoon, sir. Please, sir, let us hear from you. We've been waiting in anticipation. Thank you very much for your time. Please take it away.
Speaking from you live from my village, in my family house. That's why I could not come up on air on time. Sorry for that. But the matter we are about to talk of is a very...
It looks as though we've lost him. So can I come back to you, Chief Odegbami, whilst we're waiting for his return?
Yeah, well, that's a great human being there, Emmanuel Okala. He's undoubtedly one of the best friends I have in the world, and we are together. And not just him, with Christian Chukwu also. You know, we communicate as often as we can. And I was trying to be governor of Ogun State. And guess who were my two biggest campaigners from the East? They spoke to every congregation of Igbo groups in the whole of Ogun State. One by one, they were speaking with them, just trying to tell them about me and what they knew about me and the sort of person that I was and so on and so forth. It's incredible. Because of them, I got to understand and know and love the Igbo people. And I said it publicly that although I was a player in Shooting Stars Football Club, my first choice of a team was Rangers International. I loved the team. I love the spirit. I love the energy. I love the industry of the Igbo people. I love their determination. Westerhoff said it, Clemens Westerhoff, the coach of the national team, that if you get an Igbo man angry and you give him an assignment, just go to sleep because somehow that's who they are. And I believe this is part of what came out of the Civil War. Because I was with them in primary and secondary schools. They were not like that. But after the war, something happened. A transformation happened. The Igbo man was very liberal, like the Yoruba man is now. The Yoruba man is a very liberal person, I have found out. The Igbo man used to be very, very liberal, accepted everybody, went everywhere, all over Nigeria, in every nook and cranny, you will find them. It was part of who they were. It was in their DNA to go out and, you know, travel and mix, and they don't take over territory. They never used to take over territory. They just went and did their business and so on. So I loved them, and I still do up till now as individuals. But I'm just shocked that when it comes to the group thing, somehow we are not able to fix it. I don't know what it is, because even in Yoruba land, that's the tragedy of it. So before people say, oh, the Yorubas are against the Igbos, even in Yoruba land, in Abeokuta, where I come from, there are 4 sections. There's the Okiono Egba, there's the Ake, there's the Owu. There are 4 sections in Egba land. And when it comes to discussing who gets what or who occupies what office, you will see that the divisions will just spring up. Oh, you are different from this one. This one is different. Even in my village, the divisions now for a new Oba have sprung up. So it appears that these divisions are part of our DNA.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, we have this.
Forgive me for interrupting you, yes. But I see that Chief Okala is here. I'm only interrupting you because I'm mindful of your time, and I would like just an opportunity for both of you to be able to, you know, speak and address our audience who are so eager to hear from you. So Chief Okala, welcome once again. Please, sir, just in case the internet should disrupt us again, is it possible, we're fine if we don't have your camera on, so as, you know, to allow the internet to work better. You're welcome once again, sir.
Chief, believe you me.
Can you hear me now?
No, yes. We can. Just go on.
Yes, go on.
All my shortcomings. Manage me as you see me.
We are managing you now. We have been managing you for 50 years.
Hello.
Yes.
You know, all the time I've been relating with. There was. Don't worry. You know, very slow. I'm learning very fast. I remember one match you came and you were lodging at the police church. I came to that hotel. I'm Lagos to my house, entertained them the way I could. Furthermore, I made sure I attended Ibadan. She Lagos told me many things in the course of the wedding. Believed I will be there. Best of you, my dear friend. This is a relationship, good relationship we had with each other. And up till now, greetings and messages speaks a word, and it's done to show how serious and I thank God for it.
It looks as though we've lost him again. What a pity.
Yeah.
Sir Odegbami, I know that you said you had to go. You know, but we so appreciate your presence here. I have a couple of hands up. I have one hand up. Would it be okay if we take that question? Because I think it may be to you.
Okay.
So Tim, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I think that I heard one particular point Chief Okala said on a particular match he referred to, where he had to pick Chief Segun from after match. I think it must be a local match in Enugu, so he had to take almost the risk of picking the team because of the point that Chief Segun was making about being the members of the Eagles team, and he had to take that risk to bring Segun and the Eagle team members to his house. I'm wondering whether Segun, you can recall what he's trying to, because the point you made about the risk of the tensions, and yet among yourselves, even in very tense situation like that, you were still able to show the intimacy, even though you were still playing a major, So I don't know if you have any more insight on what he was trying to say.
I'm surprised that you used the word risks. We didn't think it was a risk. We were taking any risk. We were brothers, So every time we went to Enugu, it's either we went to Christian Chukwu's house for dinner, or we went to Okala's house, or they would take us to those joints. And you will find the fans, even the fans will come there. There were no risks at all.
Wow.
It was, I don't know. Okay, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Look, Nelson Mandela said it. I will keep repeating this over and over again, that sport has the power to change the world. Mm-hmm. He's not a flippant person.
True.
There are 4 million viewing centers where people go to watch the EPL and European leagues and our own leagues in Nigeria. Just imagine that at every center, you have 4 or 5 people. Multiply that and you get the number of young people. These are young people.
Wow.
Who go to watch football matches every week in their tens of millions. Do you know that there are more churches, more betting shops and viewing centers in Nigeria than you have mosques and churches?
Wow.
These are a humongous number of people. And most of them are young, illiterate, uneducated, and so on. These are the people that we need to take care of, or we perish.
Yeah.
Whereas you have the opportunity through sport to get a message across to them. That message is beyond playing the ball, kicking the ball, scoring goals. They go and watch that. That's fine. But they are a congregation of people, young Nigerians. When a goal is scored, they turn to their sides and they hug and kiss. They don't care whether you are Igbo or Yoruba or Hausa. There's a powerful message in those actions, those gestures, those places where people meet and do communion. It's not communication, communion. They eat, they drink. Those places are sacred. You don't know how close we are when we are sports people. I was Chioma Ajunwa's manager. Chioma is Igbo from Ahiazun Bise. I went there. The streets from Owerri to Ahiazu were blocked. Igbos were hailing me. I'm Yoruba. So the possibilities are out before us. Using the power of sport beyond the field, beyond the track. That congregation of people, we could turn them to start to see the positive aspects of our coming together. It is either we come together or we perish. That is the truth. And one of our political leaders said it in 1986. He said, if you people don't come together, your situation will be irredeemable. We are at that point now. It is not about talk, all this political talk, because those things divide us. Oh, the president is from the East. This one is from the West. What we are just doing is promoting the divisions. I know it is almost impossible for us to say, okay, let's just bridge everything. But there are lessons we can take from the power of sport to change our society, to change who we are as individuals and make it be a part of the collective. We wanted to do an election in Ikoyi Club, and you see the Igbos teamed up on one side, backing an Igbo person. The Yorubas teamed up and back, and they were campaigning. I'd never seen anything. Look, and this is 2022. We need to address those issues. I'm glad that in a way you are addressing the issues now. You are bringing back history so that we can learn from history. the negative aspects of what we produced ourselves by being divided. You see, we now need to start to bring the positivity, those things that bring us together, that make us one, that strengthen us, that makes us so powerful. We could be the most powerful nation on earth if you combine the industry, the energy, the passion of the Igbo man, his determination, with the intellect, with the sophistication, with the rip and deep cultures and traditions of the Yoruba, with the good spirit, the good naturedness, that ability to bring everybody together of the Hausa, and his cleverness, his administrative skills. You bring all of them together, you are going to create a society that will be of such force that when that force is unleashed on the world, you will never see a more fast developing environment. We have everything in Nigeria, for God's sake. Why are we allowing all these divisions to just keep us apart and to diminish us and turn us into, who we are now? We are not successful, we are poor, this is terrible. So I like what is going on here. Please, because I'm a sportsman, I can see it. I've given you figures, data, raw data of people, persons that are out there that can become a time bomb. In fact, they are a time bomb if we don't address them. Yet we have the tools to reach out to them, to put a message out there so that they can start to see differently, start to think differently, start to think as one. A united Nigeria is enough for everybody. We'll provide for everybody. A divided Nigeria will provide for nobody. That's the situation we are in. So anyway, don't be angry with me. I have to go now, but I thank you for the opportunity you have given I and my friend Emmanuel Okala to come and be on this show. I wish you had been able to listen to what Okala had to say. Oh, all Nigerians will just come tomorrow and say, look, let's join hands. It's not about reconciling. What are we reconciling? The past is gone. Let's bury the past. It is gone. We are here and now. Let us go forward. Come together and go forward. I don't know how it will happen, but that's my message. I thank you all once again. Thank you.
Reviews. You guys were fantastic equally. Your presentations. The chair captured the essence of the dialogue. Dele was subtle and ingenious as always. I must confess your presentation raised the adrenaline of the dialogue. The Fatherland team deserve the best truly. I love every one of them. They sacrifice so much for the healing and restoration of Nigeria. For in Nigeria every citizen will have a sense of belonging and willing to contribute their quota for her growth and development. You can feel the depth of the determination and resilience of Dele and the rest of the team for a free and fair Nigeria. Fantastic dialogue. My regards to all. From Dubi's IICC, the 22nd of January 2022.
Hi everyone, the Fatherland Group is a global network of Nigerians armed with a deep understanding of our past, present, and our future. Please like, follow, share our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Subscription on YouTube is actually free, so please do that and turn on your notifications. That way you'll be the first to know whenever we share new content. To learn more, please log on to the fatherlandgroup.org. fatherlandgroup.org. Thank you.